Good afternoon. George Cavaligos for HFT Bonds. Wow, what a rally this morning. I was surprised, obviously. As we rallied, I tried to highlight in the email and in the chat room the importance of the 61% fib retracements. Lately we've been seeing all kinds of moves up and down where the market's finding, stopping and turning points at 61% fib retracements in the bonds and notes. It's amazing. I can't remember over the last 2 months how many times we've utilized that 61%. Well, we're sitting in the chat room, everybody were talking back and forth about the numbers. All of a sudden I look over, the bonds are trading 148 even. The 10-year notes got up to 133.08 plus, I think. 61% was 148 even, depending on which move of the bonds. I think there were two different highs. The all-time high in the bonds, and then the last high where we got up to like 152. I can't remember the exact high, but if you run those fib retracements off of the two different highs and the lows that we put up, last month or so, both those 61% retracements come in at 148 even and 148.13 on the bonds, and at 133.12 plus in the 10-year. Big levels. Put a quick short on up there, and we scalped that for a couple ticks. Basically, kind of the only trade we did today. Didn't see a lot to do. We just sat there basically most of the day, and then we started seeing some selling late in the afternoon. Not sure what's driving it. Obviously, some long liquidation. But we do have the auctions next week. Maybe it's some dealer hedge pressure. We've seen some serious size going through on the down trade here as longs are exiting here, and I kind of think that today's highs at that 61% fib retracement are marking the top of a third wave, maybe a C wave, some kind of high there. I'm looking for a pullback. I gotta say, we're gonna go look for the old highs again. That's been the trade. Maybe not that much. I was just looking at the bonds here, the previous, depending on which highs you want to look at. We've got all kinds of support down around that 146.5, 146.75 level. And on the 10-year, obviously around 132.5. So roughly a half point lower in the 10-year from here over the next, 3-4 trading days. Auctions next week. Remember, we always see the lows put in on either the 10-year or the bonds. We always buy the bond auction. Okay? I got to see some backing and filling. I'm going to label that the top of a third wave, today's high. We're looking for a fourth wave pullback. Some kind of a choppy ABC, sideways to lower. And then we want to be getting ourselves long again, sort of the middle, latter part of next week. And looking to see what happens at that point. Alright, that's kind of the game plan. Not a huge day. These markets are so messed up. I don't know, we didn't have a Fed buyback today, but the market just sat up at the highs all afternoon and no back and forth. Really until the last, 45 minutes or so into the pit close. I thought we'd see some buying into the pit close. I'm a bit surprised that we saw this selling. I thought this selling would come in Sunday night, into Monday morning. Hedging, pressure, long liquidation, make it through the weekend. You got to imagine somebody's got a lot of longs on and they're taking some off. Maybe you take off half up here. The market's been under heavy, steady, large volume selling pressure. Look at the volumes in the 10-year today, gang. We did 1.45 million contracts. I think that's got to be the highest volume we've seen in quite a long time. I'm really anxious to see what the commitment of traders numbers look like. But it's also a beautiful day. It's supposed to be rainy all weekend. I want to get out of here, go home, take the dog for a long walk. Commitment of trader stuff comes out in about 45 minutes. I'll take a look at that. I've already posted in the chat room, and I posted them in the chat room only. My favorite wave counts, charts on bonds and the S&P. We'll take a look at some stuff over the weekend. Probably post some more stuff. There's a lot of interesting things going on. Look at these equities. They're driving a lot of things. The yen, new recent lows today. Again, 102 handles on the yen future. I'm sure that's helping weigh on the bonds a little bit right now. The euro has rallied, what, 3 handles and, no, more than that. Almost 4 handles in the last 2 days. That used to be pretty friendly to equities. So I kind of given the upside the benefit of the doubt, at least in the short term for the equities markets. Great, good stuff, good week, decent, not great, should have been better. I got to learn to maximize a little better and keep some kind of core position on instead of just being a day trader. I'll see you guys on Sunday night, Monday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for coming.